going on, brother?
How we doing?
Good.
Josh, Jared, maybe a special guest appearance from the one and only River. You hear a couple squeaks. That's my baby girls.
This is armchair analysis, right? A couple guys that know nothing about everything. What are the things that we know nothing about? You said you wanted to get into something today, Josh. I'm interested, man.
Man, gosh. Do you ever just have one of those days? Like, I don't know. I worked hard today and then I came home and it's one of those things where it's dark and it's gloomy. And for whatever reason, something about like a dark, gloomy day, like it feels like nostalgia. Like all I want to do is just sit there and I want to just watch the thunderstorm roll by. And I just get this sense of like longing about like, I don't know, watching thunderstorms as a kid. And dude, for whatever reason, I ended up just falling down a complete rabbit hole, Jared. For about an hour, I started looking up stuff that I was like, I know nothing about, hence, armchair analysis, and just really kind of got into like,
Okay. Like what?
So, all right, do you know about like liminal spaces, right? This has kind of gotten really popular, especially because there's now like a scary movie out called Backrooms that has like kind of like brought this whole like, liminal spaces, which is, just it's like walking through something that feels like nostalgic but unsettling, or something familiar but also scary. Like it's walking through an airport that's completely empty, or it's walking in a hotel hallway and you're navigating this maze, this corridor, and you're never quite finding, your exit, right? It's this like you're in transition, right? And I think I kind of got into this whole like this whole nostalgia, and like this rabbit hole kind of came about because I'm on Instagram, and Mark Zuckerberg, he's got my algorithm, right? He's watching my every move. And I guess I click on a couple things too many times, and now, my page is just inundated with these like liminal spaces, this Backrooms, Dreamcore, like this like just like fantasy, like where that's AI and you're just walking around. Sometimes
when you say transition, what do you mean? When you said you're in transition in these spaces, transition between what?
So that's just it. I mean, you're going from one place to another, but like you're in that middle area, right? So it's like, consider like, think about like, you're walking through a school, right? You're walking through the hallways of a school. The entrance is the entrance, and like your destination is what, like the classroom itself. So like that, just like getting to your classroom is that transition period, right? You're walking this maze of hallways, and everything kind of seems a little similar. Everything kind of like is the same, and you kind of get lost like in this maze, right?
But is it a maze that are you speaking in the sense of like you feel like you've been there before but you haven't? Or
yes. I know it can be. Yes, it can be a little bit, exactly. So it's funny you bring this up, because like I said, I fell down a complete rabbit hole, and the word that you're referring to, this like feeling nostalgic for something that you've never actually experienced, but just like the experience itself brings you back to like a certain time. It's called anemonia. Hold on. I'm like, I had to look up the pronunciation. I was so Anemoia.
Yeah.
Anemoia. Anemoia. So it's again Anemoia. So the sense of nostalgia for something you've never experienced. And so I'm watching these Instagram reels, this morning, and then I come home and it's raining, and I'm just like, I don't know, I'm feeling nostalgic, man. I'm feeling nostalgic. And it got me down, got me down a Google rabbit hole, which led to a ChatGPT rabbit hole. And all of a sudden now I'm like researching, Gnosticism, and this, which is like this like philosophical / religious movement, where it's basically like it's again similar to like this whole liminal space. Like you're in transition, like you're not awake yet. You're not awake until you find like the true meaning of like your life.
Figuratively, you're saying.
Correct. Yeah. It's like I know I'm all over the place
being
right
in
now.
A dream versus being in a literal dream.
Think about like Truman Show, right? This man is like, they consider yourself like you're asleep until you're finally awake, right? So Truman Show, I know we've talked about Truman Show before. It's one of, I think both of us have mentioned it's one of our favorite movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to give a quick update? Like, do you just want to like let people know what Truman Show's about?
Yeah, well, I'll be curious to know how it correlates to exactly what you're saying, because Truman Show is a little bit different where there, I mean, maybe there was a deeper messaging behind it, but Truman Show was a little bit more literal, where you had a gentleman who, I guess I don't know if it was like his parents were given money for this, but he's living a life and he's starting to realize there's a pattern, a very obvious pattern to the life that he's living, where things tend to seem constructed in a certain way on purpose. And he starts to find out as he digs deeper and deeper that the life he thought he was living has been fake, but also just what's the right word I'm looking for, has been directed by this TV show this entire time. He's been living in a reality TV show without knowing he was living in a reality TV show for his entire life, pretty much. Is the Truman Show. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's a terrific movie. Jim
That
Carrey.
was more literal, right? I mean, like I said, there might be a deeper messaging behind it, but that was more like there was a guy, the producer of the TV show, who was controlling and conducting everything around Jim Carrey's life. What you're saying is a little bit more more figurative, it sounds like.
I mean, it can be, I think it can be both. I think, again, I am not an expert by any means, so please, don't quote me, but basically I would say, after learning what I have about Gnosticism, Truman Show is almost like to a T exactly what this is about. So it's essentially, again, you've got Jim Carrey, or Truman, as his name is in the character. You've got this guy who's like essentially living in this world, right? And he doesn't know that there's something so much bigger, right? And the producer is the one that's manipulating everything. So Gnosticism is very similar. It's like, you are like in this space, right? And there's a god, or there's someone who's like manipulating, not necessarily like in a good way. Like they're just trying to basically control you. And you can't break out of that cycle until you have some sort of like, or you can't like move past that until you like are free of that. Like until you wake up your spiritual inner being or whatever.
How do you do that?
So, I don't know that far.
This is also like the Matrix, right? Isn't
a little bit of Matrix too. Again, like
what I also just realized.
This
is something I literally just realized as we were talking. Isn't it crazy how his name was Truman? He was the only true human in that entire movie. Everybody else was living a fake life. He was the only honest, true man. Wow.
Damn. What? What?
What are you? That's pretty wild. I just realized that.
Wow. I mean, hey, I did not put that together, but yeah, I guess that's he was the only one that was actually like, living his life. Yeah, look at that. Hey, listen to all our listeners out there. We're not as dumb as we sound.
Or we're even dumber, but we'll find.
Or we're even dumber.
Only time will tell.
But no, like, again, so just like what you said, like, hey, this kind of sounds like Matrix, like Truman Show. Like, again, I got down this rabbit hole because like this whole concept of like Gnosticism, which again, religious, philosophical, I don't quite know what, but it's a little bit of both, in my opinion. It's fascinating, right? It's basically saying like, when you like people that are just like living their lives day in, day out, they wake up, they go to work, they come back, like they're going to be in that cycle until they realize that there's something so much bigger, right? Consider like a fish in a fish tank, right? The fish only knows that fish tank. They think that is their life. That's everything that they can do. That's their destiny.
Right.
But then, they drop another fish in the fish tank and the guy's like, nah, dude, there's like a whole ocean out there. I just got yanked from it. Like, and now the original fish, the OF, if you will, is now he's aware that there is something so much bigger.
Interesting. Okay. So tying this back to you first had this moment while you were watching the rain and the thunderstorms. Do you feel like you're in that space right now? Do you feel like there's something greater, a greater purpose that you're longing for, that but you don't know how to get there?
I think a little bit. I've like thought about this concept like without knowing what Gnosticism is for kind of quite some time. Like Jared, you and I talk pretty sporadically, but we talk enough where I know that, you feel like, hey, you want to achieve more. And I don't know if it's just achievements or if it's just what it may be. Cause again, I'm not an expert, but like I have like definitely like gone to bed or woken up and I'm like, man, there's got to be something more than just waking
They
up,
got a greater
doing my
purpose
9 to
out there.
5. Like I want to, like
Sure.
if it's like there's just something that like, we're driven towards.
You get me fired up right now.
I know, dude. I'm telling you, I'm for an hour. I've done nothing like, and I just keep like, dude, it's amazing. I don't know. I feel like I'm becoming awakened. I don't know.
So we're literally witnessing Josh leaving the Matrix in real time right now.
I'm taking
Josh,
the red pill.
What are your? I don't remember which pill was the good one. That's not good. But, what are your first like? Now you're typically a pretty private person, so I'll be interested to see how you answer this. But like, what are the instinctual things that you're feeling right now? What is the first thing that comes to mind that you're most excited about that would get you out of your current life cycle?
I would say time, because I know that there's things I want to do, but then at the end of the day, you only have so many minutes, so many hours in the day that, you do. It is hard to kind of break that cycle. You go to work, you work 9-10 hours, you come home, if you have a child, if you have a pet,
right?
You got to dedicate time to taking care of them, taking care of yourself. You got to eat, if you got.
Who was it who created the work schedule? Was that the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers? Or...
I thought it was, I was, for some reason, I thought it was Ford. Ford was the one that kind of started the whole 9 to 5, 5 days a week, because he wanted, I guess, people like constantly making new Model Ts or whatever,
But that is hard, right? Because you go off of time, right? Like that's something I think about all the time, trying to start my own businesses. And it's like, I'm not somebody who wants to start my own business. Maybe I want my cake. I want to be able to have my cake and eat it too, right? Or however that saying goes. But I want to be able to give everything I have to my 9 to 5. I respect the people I work for. I respect the people I get to work with. And so I want to be able to give everything I have to my quote unquote 9 to 5. But then it's also to do that, to not just have a job. And I want to be challenged even within my 9 to 5. I don't want to just be like, the reason why I left the job I was at before, and it was no shame to them. It was, it's a long story. I was thinking about going on permanently there. But the whole reason why I kind of switched gears was because I felt like I had a greater opportunity to be challenged with the job I'm in now. And so to make sure you can give everything you got, to want to still be challenged within your quote unquote 9 to 5, but then to come home and still have the energy, whether it's during the week or on the weekends or both, to put also everything you have into your own business is not easy, man. That's why I have so much respect for these entrepreneurs that have made it out the mud, because it's hard. It's hard to come home and be like, all right, now I'm exhausted, especially, I don't know about you. And I know you can sometimes work pretty long hours as well. And, I get home after being all included at work, probably for about 11 hours. And I'm tired, man. The last thing I want to do is then spend an hour working on my own business. So it's hard. It's hard to break that cycle, man. I feel like the system is not set up for you to be able to, but that's kind of what you hear a lot of entrepreneurs speak about, is if you can grind like that for X number of years, however long it takes, then you kind of do get awakened to this whole other world as an entrepreneur, where time is a lot more of a construct than it is of this, okay, I have to be here for 8 hours of my day, which means I only have 2 hours of my day to do this, and then only an hour to do this. I need to be in bed by this time. You kind of start to break away from that entire mindset as a successful entrepreneur from kind of the interviews I hear. So it's fascinating stuff, man.
Yeah. So again, kind of tying everything together. Again, maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but you get from like this nostalgia to then you start thinking about this like liminal dream core space that's like, this transitionary period to like Gnosticism. And again, maybe it doesn't make sense to anyone else out there, but for me, I can piece together like one by one, like how it's like all kind of comes together in this, like, I don't know, this.
So how do you break out the cycle? How do you get that time?
Yeah,
that
I don't
time
know.
back.
I don't know, man. I think if anyone's got the answer, please. Like, I think that's what we're all trying to figure out, right? It's like, and it's easy. It's easy when you do have a little bit of time to say, well, I worked hard. I worked hard. I deserve to just kind of sit in front of the TV, binge watch something. Like, it's easy to kind of fall into that mindset, habit, whatever you want to call it. But
You're starting to sound like you're
who am I starting
starting
to
to sound
sound
a little bit like my boy David Goggins. I'm not
like?
gonna lie.
Oh,
And you're also starting to sound like you have a high altitude right now of intrinsic motivation,
mm,
which is what our next book club is all about. It's called
wow.
Drive. As much as you don't want to admit it, I think this book is starting to get in your head a little bit about trying to achieve the things you want to achieve in life.
Huh.
Look at that.
Hey,
Look at that segue.
I'm not smirking. I'm not smirking.
Oh man, no, I think that's cool stuff, and I agree. I think that it sounds like you're at a phase in life where maybe it's a little extra motivation, whatever you want to call it, but you got a little extra fire lit to achieve more than what you're doing right now, which is exciting to see as your friend. That's exciting to see, man. Now comes the execution and the discipline, right?
That's
To
that's that's
stick
the
with
hard
it.
part, right?
What about
Yeah,
the days where you're not motivated, right?
exactly.
When you feel like the luminal, you kind of forget, you kind of get lost again in that luminal phase of just routine. All right, how
Yeah.
do you get yourself out of that as quickly as possible? Because I think the I think the expectation, at least, especially somebody like myself, who, I listen to a lot of motivational speakers. I love the self improvement books and everything, and it's easy to read about it and listen about it, but to actually be the one in the moment executing is much harder. And I feel like there's this initial expectation as somebody who wants to be not just entrepreneurs, but we want to be obviously successful at what we do, anything that we do. There's this expectation from the people that you see who have quote unquote made it, that once they quote unquote make it, oh, now they're just in a rhythm, they're just crushing life, it's just 1 + 1 = 2 every day. They just got things writing, and I don't think that's real. I don't think that's realistic. And I think even they would admit it, that that's not it. It's that every day you got to wake up and you got to remind yourself and you got to convince yourself that, like, no, you're on, even though it's the more challenging road. You're exhausted, you're frustrated, you're tired, you're pissed off at times. You have zero motivation to do whatever it is that you need to get done. It's in those moments reminding yourself, like, no, I'm breaking myself out of that
There you
luminal
go.
phase in order to achieve what it is I need to achieve. That's how you get it done. But it's hard. That's hard work every single day. I fail at that all the time, man.
Hmm.
It's hard just to keep that going.
Dude, this is firing me up, man. Now, now,
Woo.
now, segueing a little bit, because obviously I think there is a serious side to this whole concept, but like thinking more again, we can get a little bit more like into like the creative side, right? Have you
Mm-hmm.
ever seen some of these videos that I'm talking about where it's like just on Instagram? It's usually they're AI driven and it's completely fabricated, something completely fabricated. Again, it's like POV. So you're the main character, you're walking through somewhere, and you know, have you ever seen these?
I have not seen exactly what you're talking about, but I'm sure I got my phone right next to me, so I'm sure as of 30 minutes ago I will.
Oh yeah, yeah. Again, Zuckerberg's listening to everything, right? That'd be funny if that would be amazing if that was like one of the first things I pull up.
It
Some
probably will be. Yeah.
But I getting into like this whole like liminal space, and like, I mean, have you ever again, you're walking through a hallway and you just feel like, when does this end? Like, that's how I feel like casinos are made. Like, it's a maze. You cannot get out of this thing. Like they don't want you to leave in like
Yeah.
a kind of creepy, eerie way.
Yeah.
I've got a story, and I've sat on this for a while. People that are like, in my family and friends probably have heard this story before, but I'm one of those people, because I want people to get to know me. One of my favorite things to do is urban exploring.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So urban exploring, some people might call it, ghost hunting. Some people might call it breaking and entering. I don't know. All that to say is,
Okay.
all that to say is there is where we used to live in Maryland is a bunch of old abandoned, insane asylums. And trust me, I will talk your ear off about this in the future with more stories. This I wouldn't say is one of the scarier ones. This is one that is like it was freaky because there was a group of us, right? We're in this abandoned building. We've got our masks on, we've got gloves
Why are you wearing
on.
masks?
What's that?
Because you're unsure of like what's in the air.
Yeah, I mean, again, you like walk through this and you don't know if like asbestos or again, what you can just see, you've got your headlamp and like there's just particles all over. Again, little, probably not the safest thing to do, but it's an adrenaline rush, right? Because it's like you're walking and you don't know what's behind door number 2. It's like you just walking. Well, getting back to this whole like liminal space, these liminal space back rooms, this like eerie, like you're walking and you don't know when it's going to end. Jared, I am not kidding. We're in this place and we're walking through, is 4 or 5 of us, and we're going, and all the doors next to you like look the same, all the rooms look the same, and we were probably navigating these hallways. It was probably less time than we thought, but it felt like 5 minutes, and we ended up taking a loop, and we were all like, how do we get out of here? Like
you ended up right back where you started.
Yes, dude. It was like we had the realization, we're like, oh my God, like this is kind of terrifying. Like we don't know how to get out of here.
Can you tell the people where you were? No. Okay.
I might keep that a secret just for now, just because I know it is definitely not legal to go to. But
okay.
And I will say it was an old abandoned insane asylum. So I mean, huge, right?
Yep.
Huge. There's probably like 10 buildings on this campus, and each building is like massive. And there's one building, I guess, that housed like a majority of like the hospital wings. And this was the biggest building by far. And this is where we got lost. And like I said, everything looks the same. The problem is, you go certain times, like in the summertime, and everything around you is like, there's overgrowth. So you can't see out the windows. So you really don't know where you are. This is a little bit like liminal spaces, back rooms. This also a little bit of like nostalgia because I love doing that. But it was one of the freakiest,
So how long into that experience did you guys realize we're right back where we started?
I mean,
it's like the people that get lost in the woods, right? And they're like trying to get their way out, and they're like, "Oh shit, this is exactly where we started." I remember that tree.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it was like I said, it was probably only like a couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes, but like it was just a weird feeling, and I don't know if it was just me thinking a little too much into it. Like, is it like ghosts that are like sucking our energy out or something? I don't know. But it was like weird because we all kind of
manipulating the space around you.
Ooh, like, dude, that's a nightmare. Again, these are like the back rooms where you can't leave. They're like,
have you seen that movie yet? Have you seen the movie, The Backrooms? I haven't seen it yet.
I'm kind of terrified to see it.
This sounds like this is right up your alley. This is what you love.
Yeah, I know, but like I also feel like nostalgic about watching these videos. Now I'm going to be like, it's going to ruin it for me, or maybe it breaks me out. I don't know, Jared.
That's it. It might break you out of your. Would you consider this up there with Shutter Island?
Backrooms,
like this whole concept.
That seems more just like mental illness to me. Is like the guy, he was schizophrenic and he just thought he was someone else.
Yeah. Okay.
But also great movie.
Yeah. Oh man.
So you've never
right there.
Yeah, I don't know. So you've never had like just one of those experiences where you're like, I've been here before,
Well, I have, but that also kind of teeters on deja vu, right? Which the theory behind that, depending on who you talk to, is that deja vu is you're experiencing, you feel like you're experiencing something, right? And what I've heard people say, depending on who you want to listen to, is that it's yourself having already experienced this in another timeline. Yeah. And so, I mean, being in spaces where you feel like you've been there before, I've definitely had that. I've definitely had moments where, whether it's literally anywhere, where I'm like, whoa. And I have like a quick 5 seconds of like, dang, I feel like I've been here before. I've heard a similar theory about dreams too. They say like when you have a dream about something, that is usually you're like connecting with yourself in a different timeline, a different space, that quantum physics type of.
Dude, this is getting deep, man.
I know. The conspiracies are just rolling right now.
Hey, dude, Anemoia. You feel like you've been there before.
So is Anemoia, deja vu, are those synonymous with one another?
You know, that's a great question, Jared. I don't think I have the answer for that, but it's very possible. I feel like all these concepts, and sure, you could like go to ChatGPT and ask, are they connected? But like, I feel like ChatGPT is always a little bit, you can ask it like biased questions, like, "Hey, are these connected?" It'll be like, "Oh yeah,
yeah."
Well, right now,
how do you spell Anemoia?
Anemoia. So I guess you didn't listen when I told you how to spell it. That's great. Anemoia is Anemoia. Anemoia. And
so they're not considered the same thing. Interesting. So here's what Google's AI says. Okay. So Anemoia is nostalgia for a time or place you have never experienced. An example: watching a grainy VHS tape or reading an old book and feeling a deep aching longing for the 1970s, even though you were never born even though you were born decades later. It's an act of the imagination where your mind builds an emotional connection to an imagined past, where deja vu is the sensation that you have already experienced a current situation. Okay, so a little different there. Interesting. Walking into a brand new restaurant in Seattle, I guess because it knows I live in Seattle, and feeling absolutely certain you have sat at the exact table, watched the same people walk by before. The feeling, neurological glitch in the brain's memory and recognition systems, making a new moment feel like a familiar memory. Interesting. Okay. That's good to know, because that still sounds relatively similar. Like,
it does.
They're in the same camp, just slightly different versions of one another. But
I think that the main the differentiating factor is just the nostalgia piece.
Yeah, Anemoia is really about like you have this emotional connection through a period of time that you didn't live through, is what they're saying.
So another thing,
I've never really had that. I've never had that before.
You've never had that?
I never felt like I lived through a different era in time, and I was like supposed to.
No, I think for me, it's like, again, going back to Instagram, but like AI has made things, it really, just watching the growth of AI is fascinating. But now it's like you have, again, these POV videos, not just like liminal space, but it's like you walking through a mall in the 90s and you're getting, like an ice cream cone. And it's like, oh, then you go to like the old Pizza Hut with the salad bar in the middle. And it's like, those are videos. And then you're like, oh my God, I remember that. You're like, wait, I never like did that specific thing, or I'll say I've had that feeling, maybe I have had this feeling a couple times, like watching Stranger Things, right? Seeing these kids grow up in, what is it, the 80s or something. And I'm just like, oh man, like, I don't know if it's necessarily like, I feel like I live that, but it's like a longing. It's like, it's like simpler times, right? It's like all you care about is like, waking up in the morning on a Saturday, watching cartoons, your mom cutting off the crust of the peanut butter and jelly. You're outside playing with your friends all day. Like that kind of like sense of like longing to, relive that experience, even if it's not like exactly how you remembered it,
Interesting. It also just sounds like a distortion in your brain because of AI. Sounds like AI is distorting that because they can do those point of view experiences now, like especially with like VR, like virtual reality and all that stuff. So yeah, it just sounds like that's AI just physically distorting memories in your brain, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, perception. Yeah.
I can't wait till we have some armchair psychologist tell me all the things that are wrong with me now. I can't wait.
Oh man. Well, you were pretty hyped to talk about this today, man. This was very educational. You taught me a thing or two, so I appreciate that.
Like I said, I hope everyone else that is listening to this learned something. Please do me a favor, fall down a rabbit hole. Let yourself just get lost in some of these liminal videos, some of these old nostalgic videos that people have created on Instagram and Facebook or whatever. Think about Gnosticism again. Whether or not it's all connected, it's still fun to think about, right? And I think Jared, you feel like you're getting a little fired up too. But if you go and do your own research, please leave us a comment. Let us know what you think, because I'm fascinated by this. I'm sure I butchered a lot of like what I've talked about today, but nothing, good old Google can't teach you, in a little bit more in depth.
There you go, man. There you go.
Fired up, brother. I'm fired up.
I can tell, man. I can tell. Liminal spaces, Gnosticism, all of the above, man. I'm excited to see what we get in the comments about this one.
Hey, before we cut out, I do want to ask, what's like the last thing you felt nostalgic about? Because I think I told you this thunderstorm made me want to just like get some candles out, like just get some candles in case the power goes out, sit outside, watch the thunderstorm, and then pretend like I'm a pioneer in the 1800s. What's the last thing
you're saying nostalgic about something that I've experienced or something that I have never experienced?
Either one.
That's I don't something know. That you've never experienced.
No, I've lit candles during a thunderstorm because the power goes out.
Oh, you said something about like.
Yeah, but then like once you do it, then you're like, oh, this is how they used to live back in the 1800s. Oh, come on, you don't know what I'm talking about.
I've never had that experience, man. I truly have not.
You never just pretend.
I've been like, oh man, I'm really fortunate that I don't have to live like this every day like they did back then. But I'm never oh, that must have been amazing.
Thank God I'm not on the actual Oregon Trail, getting what is it? What was that? What was like the distemper or something like that? Oh shit, what is that called?
I don't know.
Did you ever play Oregon Trail?
No, I never played it. Are you talking about the sickness that people got?
Yes. Dysentery. Isn't that like where you like poop out your intestines or something? Maybe that's
man.
I don't know. I don't know. We're not doctors.
Yeah, no thank you on that. I've never played the Oregon Trail. The last thing I was nostalgic about, I mean, we just had Father's Day, right? So I think last thing I was probably really nostalgic about was just those morning car rides to soccer games, man. Me and the pops, he's letting me play the music on the radio that I'm like, whatever was on like 99.2 or whatever that was going to get me fired up for the game. It was probably way too like, I had no idea what the actual lyrics were, but I'm sure they were way too inappropriate for me being like 10 years old. But yeah, man, or using my Walkman or something, trying to get fired up. My dad's trying to give me tips before the game.
Yeah. You got to hold the CD player upright because
you can't go vertical with it, man.
If you tilt it, it's skipping.
Exactly. What about you? What was the last thing you were nostalgic about, or was it the candles?
besides the thunderstorm and the candles. Oh man, I don't know. I every once in a while I'll wake up and I still try and do like I'll put on cartoons on a Saturday if I've got nothing else to do, make myself a nice little breakfast. Even if it's just like a 20 minutes, watch some old Dexter's Laboratory or Ed, Ed and Eddie, the freaking classics. Like
you got comedy, you got Cartoon Network?
Well, no, but I think HBO has a lot of that stuff.
Oh,
it has a lot of the Cartoon Network stuff. I don't know.
Very nice.
Well, we're curious to know. Go ahead.
Speaking of candles, there's a really interesting experiment called the candle problem in the book that we're about to go over, which my screen is blurry, so you can't see it very well, but called Drive, that we're going to be going over in our next book club. So just trying to do some shameless plugs for our next book club that Josh never read.
I did actually read it. I did. And they're going to learn that I read it next go around. Did it take me about 6 months to read it? Yes, it did. But did I actually read it? Yeah, I was about 2 pages a day. But I did it. I'll have you know.
Oh man.
Ain't no cutting corners here. Unless it's
All
the
right,
crust
man.
off of a peanut butter and jelly.
Oh. Now are you going how are you cutting your sandwiches back in the day? Are you just going right through the middle? Are you doing the four corner? Are you doing like the diagonal where you get the triangles out of it?
Oh man, I think it depends. I don't know. There's nothing like eating a triangle sandwich, you know? There's nothing like eating a triangle sandwich, but I think it's easier just to cut it in the middle, you know? I don't know. Because then you're not like, you know how like the bottom crust isn't as good as the top crust? You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you
I know
mean, yeah.
So like if you cut it in half, you're gonna have equal the shitty bottom crust. But if you do a triangle, then one triangle is gonna have a lot more shitty crust. Now you could say, hey, but at least I'm getting rid of the shitty crust first if I eat it first. Yeah, but you still have to deal with it, you know? Whereas like you're balancing. It's a balance, Jared. What about you? You gonna tell me how? Go ahead. I can't wait. I can't wait.
We're out.
People are just gonna like. Whoever's listening to this are just gonna like be like, "Wow, this kid has some issues."
Yeah, there's some unresolved trauma from your childhood when it came to your lunches being made or something, man. Oh, damn.
Tell me how you really feel, Jared.
Well, here's to all these new vocab words: liminal spaces, Gnosticism, and Josh's childhood trauma.
Y'all come back now, you hear?